Hello, you are watching News Mongolian MNB World. I'm Jugdir Gambold. And for our top stories. Prime Minister of Mongolia to attend the 54th World Economic Forum in Davos-Klosters. Mongolian piano talents shine in Sweden. Mongolia allocates 744.8 billion MNT for extensive education and science initiatives in 2024. For other news, stay with us. The 54th annual meeting of the World Economic Forum is scheduled to take place in Davos-Klosters, Switzerland from January 15 to 19, 2024, with the theme Rebuilding Trust. Prime Minister of Mongolia Yngürten Losnamsray is said to participate in the forum.
Established in 1971 by Swiss economist Klaus Schwab, the World Economic Forum brings together leaders from various sectors including politics, business, environment, and technology. The forum aims to address global challenges and shape future development trends and policies through collaborative discussions. Mongolia has had notable representation at previous WEF meetings with participants such as Foreign Minister Batsik in 2023, President Batorlak in 2020, Minister of Mining and Heavy Industry Somya Batar in 2019, Foreign Minister Tsakhtuatr in 2018, and President Ilbek Dorch in 2017, respectively. The involvement of Prime Minister Yngürten Losnamsray in the 54th annual meeting reflects Mongolia's ongoing engagement in international dialogues, emphasizing a commitment to addressing shared global challenges through cooperative efforts.
Mongolian expatriates around the globe are actively contributing to the preservation and promotion of their cultural heritage by establishing educational hubs. One of the notable examples is Sobdenurk Piano Training Center in Sweden. Nestled in the heart of Stockholm, this institution has been a beacon of Mongolian art and music for the past 12 years.
At the core of the center's mission is the commitment to nurturing the cultural identity of Mongolian children living abroad. A unique facet of the Sovtoruk Piano Training Center lies in its tradition of hosting grand galas where the talents of its students are showcased through captivating performances. For these young learners, the joy of playing pieces by Mongolian composers on the piano goes beyond mere musical expression. It is a heartfelt connection to their roots. The dedicated teachers at the center understand this sentiment and consequently place a strong emphasis on incorporating Mongolian musical works into their curriculum. This distinctive approach has become the hallmark of the training center. Our students often received prizes at Swedish music competitions. Most of our graduates enter into Royal College of Music. In general, we have been providing music education to Mongolian children for more than a decade.
It's been more than a year since my daughter started taking lessons. Teachers are really diligent. My daughter likes playing piano a lot.
My name is Binderia. I'm 7 years old. It's been 1 year since I've started playing piano. I learned to play melodies such as Love Me Tender and Follow Me.
Love me tender, follow me.
The audience was treated to soul-stirring renditions of Mongolian classics such as Mother's Song and The Sound of the Soul by Sharov, along with mesmerizing Black Horse. The musical journey extended beyond Mongolian compositions, featuring diverse pieces like Berkovich's Variation, Francis Lane's Love Story, and Tchaikovsky's timeless Swan Lake. A significant highlight of the gala was the graduation ceremony where the children who had diligently studied at the training center for 1 to 3 years proudly received their well-deserved graduation certificates. The Sovtoruk Piano Training Center continues to be a cultural oasis for Mongolian youth in Sweden, fostering a deep connection to their heritage while showcasing the beauty of Mongolian music on an international stage.
The Ministry of Education and Science in Mongolia has earmarked a substantial budget of 744.8 billion MNT for 442 educational and scientific projects in 2024. This financial commitment is part of the broader budget allocation, constituting 5% of the country's gross domestic product.
The detailed funding distribution for the education sector in 2024 encompasses construction of schools, kindergartens, and dormitories, amount undisclosed, enhancement of education quality through various projects, around 330.5 billion Mongolian Tugriks, and support for teacher education scholarship, around 14.5 billion Mongolian Tugriks. In addition, tuition fee coverage for children of teachers and employees with a minimum of 15 years of service will be 6.9 billion Mongolian Tugriks. Bonus program for rural teachers every 3 years based on 5 years of service, around 105.3 billion Mongolian Tugriks, and funding for vocational education variable costs around 196.8 billion Mongolian Tugriks. Moreover, implementation of the lunch program for secondary school students will be around 87.4 billion Mongolian Tugriks. This detailed breakdown illustrates the strategic distribution of funds, emphasizing the government's commitment to comprehensive development within the education sector, infrastructure improvement, support for teaching staff, and the overall well-being of students across Mongolia.
Now please have currency exchange rates provided by the Mongol Bank. Please take a look at foreign news partnered with international news agencies. Airstrikes by Myanmar's military on a village under the control of the pro-democracy resistance in the country's northwest have killed at least 17 civilians, including 9 children, local residents and a human rights group said on Sunday. The morning attacks on Kanang village in Zagain region's combat town, just south of the Indian borders, also wounded about 20 people, they said.
A local resident who helped carry out rescue work told the Associated Press that a jet fighter dropped 3 bombs. The victims were in buildings near the village school. The resident spoke on the condition of anonymity because he was afraid of being arrested by the military. Another resident who also spoke on the condition of anonymity due to the security concerns said 9 of the dead were children and 20 other people were injured. Kanang is about 280 kilometers northwest of Mandalay, the country's second biggest city. Myanmar is wrecked by violence that began after the army ousted the elected government of Aung San Suu Kyi in February 2021. After peaceful demonstrations were put down with lethal force, many opponents of military rule took up arms and large parts of the country are now embroiled in conflict. The country's independent online media and the BBC's Myanmar language service reported the air attack Sunday, but the military authorities denied responsibility, claiming that it was false news spread by Hithit Media, an independent online news service sympathetic to the anti-military resistance. The report by the state-run MRTV television in its Sunday night news broadcast cited an unnamed official from the area as saying there had been no plane flying in the area on Sunday morning. The military government in the past 2 years has stepped up airstrikes against 2 enemies, the armed pro-democracy People Defense Force and ethnic minority guerrilla groups that have been fighting for greater autonomy for decades. The 2 groups sometimes carry out joint operations against the army. In response to accusations of abuses, the military government often accuses pro-democracy forces in the area of carrying out violent campaigns of terror. But analysts for the United Nations and non-governmental organizations have gathered credible evidence of large-scale human rights abuses by the army, including the burning of entire villages and displacement of close to 2 million people that has triggered a humanitarian crisis.
Japanese Foreign Minister Yoko Kamikawa engaged in critical discussions with her Ukrainian counterpart, Dmytro Kuleba, during her visit to Kyiv on Sunday. This visit coincides with a period of heightened tensions in the region due to the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia.
In a subsequent press conference, Minister Kamikava expressed deep concern over the profound impact of the Russian invasion, notably evident during her visit to Bucha. She conveyed witnessing the devastation with her own eyes left a lasting impression. Minister Kamikava had direct conversations with the affected individuals and noted that they need steadfastly reject unilateral changes to the status quo through force and prioritize the protection of vulnerable groups such as women, children, and the elderly, ensuring their human dignity. Affirming Japan's unwavering commitment to supporting Ukraine, Kamikawa unveiled a significant financial contribution. Japan has consistently advocated for Ukraine's support. As part of this commitment, the government of Japan recently decided to contribute approximately $37 million to the NATO Trust Fund. This funding will be allocated for anti-unmanned aircraft detection systems and other essential equipment. In response to the pressing needs of the Ukrainian population facing harsh winter conditions, Japan will donate 5 mobile gas turbine generators and facilitate the transportation of 7 transformers. The formal donation ceremony is expected to take place shortly. The Japanese foreign minister also took a resolute stance against Russia's persistent aggression, condemning recent missile and drone attacks on Kyiv and other regions during the New Year holidays. Expressing admiration for the resilience of the Ukrainian people in the face of adversity, Kamikava expressed her heartfelt respect for the courage and perseverance of the Ukrainian people and who have remained united against Russian aggression for an extended period of time. The meeting between Kamikava and Kuleba highlights the global community's commitment to addressing the humanitarian crisis in Ukraine and seeking a peaceful resolution to the ongoing conflict.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken left the Jordanian capital Amman on Sunday after meeting with King Abdullah as he pressed ahead with an urgent Middle East diplomatic mission to prevent Israel's war against Hamas in Gaza from spreading.
On his 4th visit to the region in 3 months, Blinken stressed the need for Israel to adjust its military operations to reduce civilian casualties and significantly boost the amount of humanitarian aid reaching Gaza, while highlighting the importance of preparing detailed plans for the post-conflict future of the territory, which has been decimated by intensive Israeli airstrikes and ground offensives. Jordan and other Arab states have been highly critical of Israel's actions and have issued public support for long-term planning, arguing that the fighting must end before such discussions can begin. They have been demanding an immediate ceasefire since mid-October. Israel has refused, and the U.S. instead called for specified temporary humanitarian pauses to allow aid to get in and people to get to safety. Blinken also toured the World Food Programme's regional coordination warehouse in the Jordanian capital, where trucks are being packed with aid to be delivered to Gaza through the Rafah and Kerem Shalom crossings. Blinken's visit comes as developments in Lebanon, northern Israel, the Red Sea, and Iraq have put intense strains on what had been a modestly successful U.S. push to prevent a regional conflagration. since Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th and as international criticism of Israel's military campaign mounts. From Jordan, Blinken will travel to Qatar and the United Arab Emirates on Sunday and Saudi Arabia on Monday. He will then visit Israel and the West Bank on Tuesday and Wednesday before wrapping up the trip in Egypt.
All right, that's all for today. Thank you for staying tuned. We'll see you next time with more news and updates. Have a nice day.